Yeah, so Tanner Foust being a FD icon, I think that's well deserved. I mean, he came in the sport from a different discipline, very quickly got up to speed, very quickly became a champion, and always stayed on top through his career. I've had some great battles with Tanner over the years, and he was always a force to be reckoned with. So certainly would consider him an icon of the sport for sure.
Tanner helped bring the sport to a new level by bringing in new fans, a new kind of driving, a new kind of way to think about your sponsorship program and how to support all of the brands that you have involved on your team. And so from that sense, and from being just a great overall champion that's very, very likable, he really helped elevate the sport of drifting.
I think Tanner as a FD icon is given. And his ability to adapt to different types of racing and racing genres and going from here to other forms of racing and accomplishing those and succeeding there as well. And also, being able to live off of kind of this amazing skill that he has and being able to host and drive is really a role model for, I believe, a lot of drivers that are here to be able to have that type of career that Tanner has.
That is awesome. I needed that. Thank you.
Like, drifting really turned my dream into an actual professional reality.
Hey babe, we're going through the spare bedroom.
Since drifting, I've hosted probably 8 different TV shows on maybe 5 or 6 different networks, including Top Gear, which is part of the largest automotive media franchise in the world, and raced rallycross, raced off-road, done Pikes Peak 5-6 times, done Baja 1000 5 times, done the only driver to win European rallycross and world rallycross over in Europe and in other countries. Raced as a factory driver for Ford and now race as a factory driver for Volkswagen. I've been a stunt driver in dozens of movies and done dozens of commercials, and it's all just freaking fun. I'm Tanner Foust, Formula Drift champion from 2007, 2008, and I did Formula Drift from 2004 to 2010 with a couple events after that, Qatar in 11 and some events in a Passat. But now I race rallycross in the US, and I've been racing since drifting in Europe, in the US in that sport, and do stunt driving for films and hosting TV stuff.
2007, 2008, that's more than 10 years ago. So, the hangover's worn off at this point, but it was a big celebration. I mean, Formula D was climbing the ranks of motorsport in the US so quickly at that time. It was like a constant education process with everybody you talked to about racing, was like explaining what drifting was. It wasn't a household name. Nobody had seen it or heard of it unless they watched option videos or something. But it was growing so fast, and the competitiveness was getting so strong that even just from 2007 to 2008, the championship was much more difficult to win. So anytime you do something back to back like that, it's great. It proves it wasn't a fluke, and it proves that your team, I guess, is solid enough to evolve with a growing sport. But I wouldn't say that was the heyday of the sport, since it continued to grow after that, but it was an epic time in drifting.
Kind of hard to recall, exactly the feeling for those 2 championships with Tanner. I know it's definitely excitement. It's for all of us in the team. I always want to go out there and win, especially a championship. But I think, for us, we're so busy working on the cars and we're so busy in the competition, you almost get to some point where you're like, I think we can win the championship, and you just put your head down and continue to work hard so the car's reliable and give Tanner the tools he needs to drive well. And then once we won that first championship, it was like, okay, we've gotten to this point, now let's try to do it again. And it's this crazy mentality of like always trying to win and always trying to do it again. And just, I don't know if there's always that, I don't know if there's ever that moment where you can just really sit back and just enjoy it. Sometimes that happens, but it's midway through the off season, not necessarily right after.
Drifting to me, first of all, I owe a debt to drifting. Like, I really owe the sport of drifting. I owe Jim and Ryan and Jared. And this is I'm just like a lot of people that love cars, maybe love motorsport, but really just love the concept of driving for a living. Like, that was me. And you know, I went to school, I studied to be a doctor, and was, you know, going down the normal road because this unattainable world of making a living behind a steering wheel was unattainable. Like, drifting really turned my dream into an actual professional reality. And I think it's done that for a lot of people. Because it's one of these sports that is not just about racing, it's also about lifestyle. And I love that companies and brands latch onto that, so you have access to these companies and sponsors that really can make you money and therefore make you a professional driver. So I owe the sport of drifting, everything about drifting, I really owe, and any chance I get, I try to pay back.